When I set about writing my third piece of adult fiction, I really only had the title in mind. I'd actually planned to write the third book in the series that I'd set off writing about Cat, Bunty and Callie. I'd already written the books about Callie in The Two Miss Parsons and about Bunty in As It Is on Telly. And my plan was to write the third book. But suddenly I got this title fixed in my head and knew that this book was going to write itself somehow before I even had a chance to stop it. And that title was The Most Beautiful Man in the World. And somehow this book grew from those few words into a quite far-stretching story about four different women in fact, who are all impacted by this man who was known as the most beautiful man in the world. And I set to thinking about what would make somebody be entitled the most beautiful man in the world, and what if they were actually very far from being beautiful internally. So this is a pretty interesting tale that takes the characters from England to New Zealand to LA to Australia, around the world in various different situations, all in varying stages of devastation because of what this man has done to them. What's interesting about this book to me is that when you write commercial fiction as an adult writer, and you're a woman, you are commonly classed as being a chick lit writer. And my first two books were nominally chick lit in that they featured female characters and were light-hearted and commercial as opposed to literary. But in fact, I'm not much of a chick lit writer. I don't go on endlessly about shopping. I don't care about labels. I don't talk very much about what people are wearing. And for my own reading, I tend to read much more male authors. So my favourites are Nick Hornby and Tony Parsons and David Nichols. So those are the kind of books that I like to read, and really they are more like the books that I write, except that mostly my books feature women. This one is about this beautiful man and how he impacts on all these women. So it's an adventure story as well. It's a bit of a mystery, a bit of a thriller, and it's something that I had tremendous satisfaction in writing, particularly because it really wrote itself. This whole idea sprang out of this few simple words and then became the most coruscating, massive story that I've written so far. I have had male fans write to me and say that they loved it and couldn't put it down. So bravo to them for picking it up when it looks like a female read. It's absolutely not. I think it's something for everybody. And again, I hope you enjoy it.